y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Zatima Season 3, Episode 15. The episode picks up with Fatima at the law firm calling the police so that they could go over there and check on Angela, because the last time she heard from Angela, she was screaming on the phone and she just wants to make sure everything's okay. And she told the police that somebody was at her door banging and stuff. Jake is still banging on the door, and he's like, Angela, I know who you are, I know what you like, and I know what you do. I see you on these websites all the time. Angela's like, what websites are you talking about? So she lets Jake in, and she's like, I can't believe. He shows her his phone, and he's like, there's like 3,000 to 4,000 people up there watching right now. Angela's like, oh my god, this has to be taken down, this has to be taken down. How are they even getting this like footage of me? Jake is like, so you really didn't know? Angela's like, of course I didn't know. And Angela takes the phone so she can see some more footage, and Jake is like, give me my phone. Angela's like, I'm not giving you nothing. Angela's walking around the house so she could see if she could find hidden cameras, and she finds one on her living room table in her plant. And she's like, oh my god. Jake is like, give me my phone. Angela's like, no. So Jake grabs her, and this is when the police bust in, and they tackle him to the ground and they arrest him. We see Zach in the car with Nate and Bryce, and Bryce is dropping him off to his car because Zach said he didn't want to ride with him, and Nate is trying to figure out why. Then Nate and Bryce start going into the whole Fatima shouldn't have left Zach in jail and she was wrong, and Zach is like, you really think I want to hear that after I just got out? Zach makes Bryce drop him off first, even though Nate's car is closer to where Bryce is right now. Zach is like, y'all the worst two people to pick somebody up after jail. Remind me to never call y'all again. Zach finally gets dropped off, and it's just Nate and Bryce in the car, and Nate is trying to get in the front seat, so he lifts his legs over the seat, and you can see his private parts, and you can see Bryce is staring. Nate doesn't notice, but Bryce does bring up the fact that Nate is very flexible, and then we find out Nate did gymnastics as a kid. He also asks Bryce, why does Zach act like that towards him, and Bryce doesn't really answer, so Nate notices that he doesn't want to answer the question, so he's like, I'm gonna leave it alone. Over at Angela's, we see Angela just staring at the pictures in disbelief, and she also has the camera in her hand, and she's like, oh my god, oh my god. She's like, who would do something like this? Angela, I can name a few people. But we see Fatima rush in, and she's like, Angela, are you okay? Angela's like, yeah, I'm okay, don't worry about me. I don't need you and the baby stressed out. And she's like, so what happened? Then she gives Fatima the rundown how Jake found her on these websites, and she's been recorded the entire time, and apparently somebody installed motion censored cameras, so every time she moved or came in the house they was recording, and they could see her every move, and every time she got down to business with a man that got recorded too. I'm like, Angela, you gotta be more careful. She's like, I need this taken down immediately. Fatima's like, well, I could call somebody and see if they can help us get this taken down. Fatima first mentions calling somebody at the law firm, and Angela's like, no. Fatima's like, why? Angela's like, because I work there too, and I don't want them to. Fatima's like, my friend Leslie's husband can help us out. He works for the FBI. Angela's like, you sure you can help? Angela's like, you never tell me what went on with you and Leslie. Fatima's like, don't worry. Over in the hood, Zach and Nate make it there so Zach can pick up his car, and he sees Connie and Tony outside. And Connie is like, okay, Zach, I see you out, right? Connie goes to hug him, and Zach is like, don't hug me. And then Tony is like, Zach, I see you a free man. It's good to see you. Zach is like, nah, I got a question to ask y'all, though. Did y'all know that Jeremiah was alive? Tony was like, well, I just found out. Zach is like, you just found out. Then he goes to Connie, and he's like, Connie? Connie's like, I found out yesterday. Zach is like, when you was with Fatima. He's like, so y'all knew and y'all was just gonna leave me in there. Connie was like, it was a sticky situation. Zach is like, what was so sticky about it? Connie was like, well, Fatima wanted to leave you in there. Zach is like, yeah, I know, to teach me a lesson, but I'm not a toddler, I'm a grown man. Tony was like, well, that's what your wife wanted, and this is what we was going to do. Zach is like, you know what, you two belong together. Connie is like, what you need to do is go up to the hospital and apologize to Jeremiah. Zach is like, I'm not apologizing for nothing. He's like, well, you need to, because he could still press charges on you. Zach is like, oh, well, I don't care. Connie is like, so you really not gonna go and apologize? Zach is like, no, I'm not. I have nothing to apologize. Well, yeah, Zach, I understand that you're mad, but you had no right to talk to Connie like that. Once Zach leaves, it's just Connie and Tony standing there, and she's like, hey, yo, you need to talk to him. Tony's like, I will, but you see how hot-headed he is right now? He's not gonna want to talk. Connie's like, Zach better listen, because Jeremiah could still press charges on him. Connie is like, if there's trouble, Zach is always gonna find his way to be in it. Over at Angela's, Fatima's still there, and Angela's sitting on the couch drinking a bottle of wine to the head, right? Fatima's on the phone with Malachi to see if he can help her take the pictures down and the stuff off the website, and Angela's like, what he say? Fatima's like, he basically said he'll try his best to help. How could something like this happen? And Angela's like, well, I have motion-censored cameras in my house, and they was tracking my every move and recording everything. Fatima's like, wow, that's crazy. I told you about them straight. Fatima starts going down the list of who could have done it. She's like, Bryce, Sean. Angela's like, Bryce wouldn't do it. Angela's like, Sean's too dumb to do it. Angela's like, well, it might be this old faithful guy that I was with. Fatima's like, do I know him? Angela's like, no, you never met him. Angela starts telling Fatima how Humphrey's in his 60s and he pays all her bills and he be standing on big business in the bedroom and he installed smoke detectors in her house. Fatima's like, it gotta be him then. Angela's like, what if it's not him? Fatima's like, you basically gotta stop giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. Angela's like, well, it did look good in them pictures. Angela's like, I'ma call Humphrey. Fatima's like, don't do that. We gotta set him up. Angela's like, how you gonna do that? She's like, just call him over here and ask him if he wants to come to dinner. So Fatima's like, I know you're very vulnerable right now and you feel very violated. Angela's like, yeah, but I'm gonna be alright. Fatima's like, I gotta go. Then once Fatima leaves, Angela calls Humphrey over and he's like, I'm on my way. Nate and Zach finally make it back to Zach's car and of course Nate gotta bring up the whole Fatima situation and Zach is like, I don't wanna hear it. That's still my girl and I love her. Nate is like, after all you've been through, you still wanna be the bigger person and Zach is like, yeah, that's my woman and I'ma stand beside her. He's like, I see that you love her and I gotta respect it. And then they start bringing up the whole Bryce situation and how he's nice and Zach is like, I give him a hard time but he's a really nice dude. Back over at Angela's, Humphrey finally makes it over and he wants to go straight to the bedroom because Angela has lingerie on. Angela's basically like, nah, we can do it right here. Humphrey's like, no, you know I need to be in the bed because of my back. Angela's like, of course you're back. Angela's like, I need to talk to you about something. Remember when you said you wanted to install those smoke detectors today, Cameron? He's like, what are you talking about? Angela's like, somebody's been recording me and I ended up on the internet. How did this get on the internet? Humphrey's like, I don't even know how to use the internet. Angela, you know that man is 60 years old. He probably still calls Facebook space. The man doesn't know nothing about the internet. And Humphrey's like, why are you talking to me? Then she tells Humphrey to get out because she thinks that he did it and I don't think Humphrey. Then coincidentally, Bryce rushes and he's like, Angela, are you okay? Are you okay? You wasn't answering your phone and I kept calling. Angela's like, well, if I didn't answer the phone, that means I don't want to talk. Bryce is like, well, I got an alert on my phone saying that the police was here and I wanted to check on you. Angela's like, how'd you get the alert? Bryce is like, basically the Ring camera. Angela's like, when did I get a Ring camera? Bryce is like, I installed. She tells Bryce to get out and Bryce is taken aback by the way she's talking to him. And I'm like, Bryce, if you only knew. Once Bryce leaves, Angela has a moment to herself and she's like, dang, you just made me lose my old nigga. Angela, that's what you get for accusing instead of telling what's really going on. For Zach and Fatima, Zach finally makes it home and he's ready to go in the house and take a shower, but when he gets in the house, he sees somebody kissing and it looks like Fatima. Zach already kind of has doubts about Fatima because of what the officer said in the picture that he showed him in jail. No, it's not Fatima, it's her friend Leslie, but he takes Malachi and throws him across the table, and I'm like, Zach, you just told Fatima that you was gonna be better? This is definitely warranted, because why are them people trying to screw in your house on your kitchen island? Like, what? And how did they even get in your house? But Zach is definitely better than me, because I would have did a lot more than just throw the man over the table. I would have definitely said it was self-defense, because why are you in my house and I don't even know you? You're basically an intruder. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Bye!